Hey there, comic fans! Welcome back to Comic Yahud. Today we're diving into first chapter of Tintin and the Crab with Golden Claws. Let's get started. Tintin strides purposefully down the street, his coat billowing slightly as Snowy trots eagerly beside him, tail wagging. As they continue, Tintin seems deep in thought, passing by a stack of bins carelessly left by the sidewalk. Snowy suddenly stops, barking excitedly at something that caught his attention near the bins, while Tintin turns around, curious about his companion's discovery. Snowy eagerly dives into the bin, drawn by the scent of a delicious bone. His excitement turns to confusion as he pulls his head out with a can stuck on it, a large question mark forming above him. Desperately trying to free himself, Snowy tugs at the can with all his strength. His paws slip, causing him to tumble forward, still trapped. With a determined shake, Snowy continues his struggle, twisting and turning to no avail. The can remains stubbornly in place, turning his playful pursuit into a chaotic dance. Snowy tumbles across the ground, his efforts to remove the can unsuccessful as he rolls and skids. The commotion draws the attention of passers-by, yet Snowy remains determined, his movements a flurry of furry determination. A passing gentleman in a bowler hat notices Snowy's plight and chuckles as he walks by, tapping his cane lightly on the ground. Snowy emits a series of yelps, his discomfort evident as he continues to struggle with the can. Finally, Snowy bumps into Tintin, who turns around with a look of surprise at his friend's predicament. Tintin bends down, puzzled and ready to help, as Snowy tugs at his coat for assistance. Tintin kneels beside Snowy, gently removing the can from his head while chiding him for his scavenging habits. Snowy looks sheepish, realizing the trouble his curiosity has caused, as Tintin reassures him with a playful smirk. Holding the can, Tintin examines its jagged edges, warning Snowy about the potential danger he narrowly escaped. Snowy gazes up at Tintin, his eyes wide with understanding and relief. With a swift motion, Tintin tosses the can back into the bin, his expression firm and decisive. Snowy trots beside him, grateful for his friend's help and ready to continue their adventure. Tintin scolds Snowy gently, warning him about the consequences of his mischief, while Snowy shivers at the thought of being led on a leash. Snowy trots alongside Tintin, his ears perked up as he imagines the dreaded muzzle, determined to behave. As they continue their walk, a familiar voice calls out, catching Tintin by surprise. He turns to see a friendly face greeting him warmly, while Snowy barks in recognition. Across the street, Thomson and Thompson sit at a café, waving their canes energetically to catch Tintin's attention. Tintin waves back, a smile spreading across his face as he exchanges greetings with the detectives. As Tintin approaches the café, Snowy eagerly follows at his heels, both of them greeted by the enthusiastic waves of Thomson and Thompson. The detectives seem delighted, their canes raised in a friendly gesture, inviting Tintin to join them for a drink. Inside the cafe, one of the detectives, with a jovial expression, requests another drink from the waiter, who nods affirmatively with a professional smile. Their carefree demeanor suggests a casual, relaxed atmosphere as they enjoy their time together. As Tintin takes a seat, one of the detectives pats him on the back with a hearty greeting, causing Tintin to jump in surprise. The unexpected tap sends a cascade of stars swirling around his head, but the warmth of the reunion quickly turns his surprise into a smile. Thomson enthusiastically greets Tintin, causing him to flinch in surprise as stars swirl around his head. Despite the unexpected jolt, Tintin quickly recovers, smiling warmly at the familiar gesture of friendship. A waiter approaches with a tray, handing Tintin a freshly poured drink while maintaining a courteous demeanor. The detectives watch with amusement as Tintin gratefully accepts the drink, ready to join in their cheer. Glasses are raised high as the detectives toast to Tintin's health, their faces beaming with camaraderie. Tintin joins in the toast, his smile reflecting the joy of being in such lively company. With laughter and drinks in hand, Tintin exclaims his joy at reuniting with his old friends, causing Thomson and Thompson to sputter in surprise. Their hats nearly fly off as Tintin's exuberance catches them off guard, yet their smiles reveal their delight. As the laughter subsides, Tintin inquires about the latest happenings with a curious glance. The detectives lean in, revealing they've been entrusted with a significant case, piquing Tintin's interest with a hint of mystery. One of the detectives stumbles over his words, emphasizing the importance of the case, while Tintin listens intently. He points out an article on counterfeit coins, confirming he's already aware, as they huddle over the newspaper, deep in thought. Thomson confidently shares that they have been tasked with resolving the issue of counterfeit coins, leaving Tintin intrigued. Tintin inquires about the difficulty of distinguishing the fakes, and Thomson assures him with exaggerated confidence in their ability to spot them easily. A detective, full of self-assurance, calls for the waiter and casually asks for the bill, ready to pay without hesitation. As the waiter informs him of the cost, he hands over a coin, boasting about how easily others are fooled by counterfeits. The waiter returns, apologizing as he reveals the coin is a fake, leaving the detective startled. Tintin and the others look on in amusement as the irony of the situation unfolds, with the detective exclaiming in disbelief about being duped. The detective clutches his stomach, grimacing in disbelief while the waiter stands by, holding the tray with a look of mild concern. His confidence shattered, he struggles to comprehend how he was fooled by a counterfeit coin. With a huff of frustration, the detective reluctantly hands over a genuine bill to the waiter, who nods in acknowledgement. Despite the embarrassment, he manages a stiff "thank you" while trying to regain his composure. As they leave the cafe, the detectives invite Tintin to join them in reviewing their case files, offering a chance to see what they've gathered. Tintin, intrigued and eager to help, agrees with a grateful nod, while Snowy trots beside them. Inside a cluttered office, Thomson and Thompson are surrounded by stacks of papers as they argue about misplaced documents. Tintin watches with amusement, listening to their bickering over who is responsible for the disarray. Tintin leans forward, his eyes widening in surprise as he discovers a drawer filled with peculiar items, including coins and a lobster-shaped keychain. The sight of these oddities leaves him momentarily speechless. Curiosity piqued, Tintin points at the items, prompting the detectives to explain that they were found on a body retrieved from the sea. They mention the 5 counterfeit coins discovered with the victim, adding an unsettling twist to the case. Tintin examines a peculiar document with intense curiosity, noting aloud how odd it seems and asking for permission to investigate further. His expression is one of determination as he tries to piece together the mysterious elements at hand. Without hesitation, Tintin announces he'll return shortly, dashing out the door with Snowy following closely behind. The detectives stand perplexed, clutching their papers, wondering what Tintin has discovered. Tintin races down the stairs, his mind racing as fast as his feet, with Snowy bounding beside him. Their quick departure suggests urgency, as if they are on the brink of uncovering something crucial. Just as Tintin bursts out the door, one of the detectives, filled with determination, grabs his hat and declares he's going after him. His sudden decision leaves the room buzzing with a sense of urgency. The other detective, bewildered by his partner's haste, dashes out of the office in pursuit, questioning what has gotten into him. His bewilderment adds to the chaotic energy of the chase. Mid-chase, the detective suddenly realizes with exasperation that he has forgotten his cane. This momentary lapse adds a touch of humor to the otherwise tense pursuit. One detective, realizing his absent-mindedness, exclaims in surprise as he returns to grab his forgotten cane. With newfound determination, he snatches it and dashes out, his footsteps echoing down the corridor. As he sprints through the hallway, the other detective, also in pursuit, accelerates to catch up. Their paths collide in a comedic crash near the doorway, leaving them momentarily dazed but undeterred. Meanwhile, Tintin, with Snowy at his side, races through the streets, his coat billowing behind him as he chases the truth. Their quick pace reflects their shared excitement and determination to solve the mystery. The detectives finally spot Tintin ahead, their voices triumphant as they exclaim their success in catching up to him. Their determination fuels their pace as they strive to not lose sight of him again. As they draw near, Tintin explains his startling discovery, revealing that the scrap of paper relates to a tin label. His words ignite a sense of urgency among the detectives, who now grasp the potential significance of this small clue. Tintin elaborates, explaining that he had the very tin in his possession earlier and discarded it in a dustbin now being rummaged through by a tramp. The detectives, now fully invested, follow Tintin's lead towards the location he indicates, hoping to retrieve the crucial evidence. Tintin, undeterred by the detective's scolding, continues to search the dustbin with Snowy eagerly watching. The tramp, holding his sack, looks on as the detective insists on a moment's pause, his tone a mix of authority and curiosity. Tintin stands up, disappointed as he realizes the vital tin is missing, insisting to the detectives that he remembers discarding it there. His words are filled with urgency as he describes the tin of crab, hoping to convey its importance. One of the detectives, taking charge, demands the tramp open his sack, his voice carrying a mix of suspicion and authority. The tramp, caught off guard, grips the sack tighter, his expression a blend of surprise and reluctance. Tintin searches through the sack with growing frustration, but the tin is nowhere to be found, leaving Snowy equally puzzled. The detectives watch intently, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism as the tramp looks on. As they walk away, one detective remarks on the oddity of the situation, hinting at something suspicious. Tintin, with a determined stride, listens intently, while the other detective echoes his partner's sentiment, emphasizing their shared suspicion. A passerby questions the commotion, and the tramp, still bewildered, explains the search for an empty crab tin. His words carry a hint of disbelief, as Snowy sniffs around, eager to assist. The passerby, intrigued by the mention of a crab tin, raises an eyebrow and questions its significance as the tramp walks away with a dismissive wave. This leaves the detective in a contemplative mood, pondering the odd situation that has just unfolded. Tintin, with Snowy faithfully trotting beside him, strides forward with determination, his mind racing with thoughts of the elusive tin. As they approach a staircase, his resolve is unwavering, ready to delve deeper into the mystery. Back at his apartment, Tintin hangs up his coat, his thoughts still swirling with possibilities, while Snowy watches attentively. The quiet of the room contrasts with the whirlwind of events, offering a brief respite as Tintin contemplates his next move. With the quiet of his apartment surrounding him, Tintin carefully examines a piece of paper, his eyes narrowing in concentration. He hopes to uncover any hidden clues that might lead him to the elusive Tin's whereabouts. His curiosity piqued, Tintin notices faint pencil marks on the paper, nearly erased by water, causing his heart to race with intrigue. The discovery hints at a message that could be crucial, and he leans closer to decipher it. Determined to make sense of the faint writing, Tintin decides he needs a magnifying glass, heading purposefully towards his desk. The promise of a potential breakthrough fuels his steps as he searches for the tool. Tintin enters his study with purpose, eyeing the magnifying glass on his desk as the key to solving the puzzle. Snowy quietly watches, sensing his master's determination. With the magnifying glass in hand, Tintin strides through his apartment, scanning every corner meticulously. Snowy follows close, curious about his master's intense search. Tintin halts abruptly, startled by Snowy gnawing on an unexpected bone, and questions its sudden appearance. Snowy looks up innocently, oblivious to the commotion he's caused. And that wraps up this chapter. If you enjoyed the story, head to the next part and be sure to like and subscribe for more adventures on Comic Yahud.